But I feel like the universe brings together like-minded people, and the universe brings you to people who are of the same frequency. Or I feel like there's a reason for every person that comes into your life. My neck is itchy. Like, yeah, what the fuck is this shit? I get bit by a vampire in my sleep or something. But through knowing him, I've had experiences of things that I would have never had before. Like, I've tried foods that I've never had before. He's brought me stuff, and he's like, I had this in my hometown growing up. He tells me stories about how, the life that he's lived. And I feel like it's important to get to know people from all walks of life, because you find out so much stuff. There was this guy I used to work with at Amazon. Nondescript guy. I mean, he was tall. He was an older man. He's probably like in his 60s by the time I met him. But this is when I got hurt at work, so they had like all the hurt people at a table. So we sat beside each other every day for like 10 hours. And when you do that, you just start to get it talking, And I found out he was a con man. And he was in prison for like 9 years or something because he embezzled $16 million. And just looking at him, you never would have known that. And he used to tell me about all his business ventures and all these things he did before he ended up getting locked up, I think in Italy. And, it's crazy because, he could have just been telling me stuff, but I actually saw the news article. He asked me to look it up. I saw the news article. I was like, oh shit, he's standing on business. And I remember he told me the name that he used to use. It was like David Marks or Tony Starks. I was like, okay, Iron Man. And it's so funny that I've taken these little snippets and tidbits of people's lives that I would never know had the universe not brought us together. And it's so funny that, I'm sitting next to a con man and I never would have known it. And I'm like, you embezzled $16 million. Like, yo, bro, how much you got left? Give me some of that. But I feel the same with my roommate. I have so many experiences from getting to know him. And it goes back to, like, my dad used to tell us stories growing up. My dad was in Vietnam and, in the Navy. And my dad traveled all over. He had a crazy life. And I love hearing stories and experiences from people's lives. And now, I have my own story. I have lots of stories to tell. And I think it's just a way of, like, continuing history is... history isn't always the wars that were fought. Sometimes history is, just you listen to some shit that your coworker did that you would have never believed otherwise if you hadn't seen the newspaper article about it. God, my fucking neck is itchy.